All right, everybody, welcome back. Another edition live at Drew's house. Hope everybody is doing okay. Hope you've had a good week. Final show for the week, so that's exciting. Getting closer to the weekend. My guest today, let me bring him right in. He's ready to go. Here we go. Seamus Ryan. Hello, Seamus, how are you?
I'm well, man. I'm well. Thank you.
So you're you guys, big part in this movie. Let's tell a little bit everybody who you are here. Well, I don't know. Why don't you introduce yourself? I could say all this stuff, but you do it. Who are you?
Okay, yeah, Esoteric is my MC name from the rap group Czarface, and my real name is Seamus Ryan. It's not a secret identity, but yeah, we make hip hop.
Making hip hop, and you just got a sweet deal for a very popular movie. A sequel is coming out. I just told you off the air. I haven't seen the first one. I don't know if it escaped me or what, but you can scold me for that. But the movie is Venom. It's the sequel. Why didn't I see the first one? And I'll definitely see this one now.
Yeah, I don't know why you didn't see it. You might have been living under a rock. I'm not sure if but I'm a Marvel fanatic pretty much, and having a 12-year-old son has only intensified that fanaticism. So getting in to have some music in the sequel from Venom 2, this is strange. Tom Hardy is actually bombarding me with texts here. He has a very unique text style. It's a stream of consciousness, but it keeps popping in as I'm streaming here. It's my phone, which is cool. So he's almost part of this interview, which would be much better for you if it was him.
Let me know. Let me know if we need to break any news.
No, it's all good. So yeah, Tom had reached out to me about having Czarface create some music for Venom and the sequel here that's out starting tonight, and we're pretty excited about it.
So how do you find Czarface? How did he? Did he stumble across you one night, or was he always a fan? How'd this happen?
Yeah, he told me that he listened to us in the gym a lot when he's working out and is into. I think he's got a long history of being into hip hop, so he knows his stuff. He used to actually rhyme back in the '90s, so he had tried his hand at emceeing back then, and yeah, having him be a fan of our music in general means tons. It doesn't. Being involved with the movie is just something next level, but just knowing that he likes our stuff is great enough, because we're all huge fans of what he does on screen and off screen. He's a great guy.
Yeah, pretty sweet. And you mentioned you got a 12-year-old. Man, you're gonna be a rock star in that house to him. My God, yeah, it's
yeah. Him and my daughter, who is 6, they're gonna be the rock stars because I found a way to get them on one of the songs. So hopefully, it might impress their friends or something like that. I would have loved to have been in have my voice in a superhero movie when I was 12 years old.
Yeah.
And I love it now at 21 years old. So
that's big news at the cafeteria lunch table. I think they'll be
yeah.
So are you? I know the band is kind of. Are you guys officially Beverly based, or I know you're Beverly based? What's
well,
that?
Yeah. Well, one guy's Inspector Deck from Wu-Tang Clan. He's from Staten Island.
Were they a big group back in the day?
And 7L is from Peabody, and yeah, I grew up in Beverly, so it's kind of a North Shore thing coming from me and 7L, and Deck is New York bred, but he's out here in Boston a lot too, so we've been able to formulate a lot of our music out here as a cohesive unit.
Absolutely. What is the, because I live in Denver, it's not far from where you guys are, so in the North Shore scene. I think a lot of the people that we end up having on this show are kind of more the acoustic guitarist, kind of more your maybe coffee player sort of things. Maybe you bring out a band, but not so much the hip hop scene. What's the North Shore hip hop scene like these days?
Oh, I wish I could answer that question. Once I started, I think once I really had my son was born, I'd say, probably 12 years ago. I mean, not probably, definitely. I think I kind of took a less involved approach to the actual scene and I just stopped going out so much as to focus on being a parent, but always continuing to make music, obviously, and doing what's really, if we have tours, we'll do the tours and stuff. But in terms of having my finger on the pulse of like the younger artists and stuff like that, it's something that I'd be disingenuous if I tried to give you a straight answer on that. I don't want to say I'm out of touch, but I'm a little out of touch.
Fair enough. All right, very good. When it comes to making music, I mean, I guess you're making something that you're going for a certain sound, I'm guessing, for this movie. What is the art of like making music for a movie? It's something I've never done.
Well, when Tom had approached us about it, I had a lot of questions for him, and he also put me in touch with Spring Aspers, who's the president of Sony Music for Motion Pictures. So I had a lot of conversations with her about the direction of the music as well. And what Tom had said was, I want you guys to make tracks for Venom because of what you do. I don't want you to that's why I'm reaching out to you, because I like what you do and I think it would fit the vibe. So he had a way of making us feel like we were the right people for the job, and the sound that we bring is what he wanted involved in Venom. So it wasn't one of those situations where he needed a rapper and was looking for a particular sound and wanted to make that happen. He wanted our sound. So it was just a kind of an organic, genuine exchange, which is great.
For people who don't know, and maybe I'm in that weird category of didn't see it the first time around, I don't have kids to draw me in. What is Venom for those who don't know? Okay,
well, Venom is he started off as a supervillain of an arch nemesis of Spider-Man in 1988, and grew into a real fan favorite over the 90s. And became somewhat of an anti-hero and a hero in some cases. So he's got a long lineage of crime fighting and evil doing and good doing, but he comes from the family of Spider-Man villains. So when your adversary is Spidey, you have a pretty big platform,
Absolutely. That's all right. Very good. When you said 1988, I thought the next thing was going to be then in 1989. I got very worried there for a second.
Oh. No. His first appearance was 88, and that's kind of where he was spawned from.
So your kids genuinely, even without you drawing them in, they found this and love it?
Yeah, I think something about action figures, comic books, cartoons, those things speak to all of us when we're young, can speak to us at any age, really. And it really grabbed a hold of my son, definitely. And I'm too close to the situation to really give you an accurate answer of how much I had to do with it, but because I'm into it as well. So I just think, his whole crew of friends are all into the thing too. It's just, the Marvel movies and the characters, it's a pretty big deal.
Needless to say, he's dad's boy. As far as you being all, you've been in since you were a kid, and obviously you're an adult too. What is it you think that draws you in so much? Is it just does it almost bring you kind of back to being a kid? Do you remember those days, or is it?
Yeah, it does bring me back. I mean, I'm an only child, and I feel like a lot of times I was left to my own devices to entertain myself, and I found comic books and action figures and just spending hours and hours on my stomach on the kitchen floor of my house while my parents threw dishes at each other or something. And I would get into my own little reality of Marvel characters and so forth, and started creating my own characters and started trying to write comic books. And yeah, it stuck with me for a long time. And once I started really focusing on making hip hop and everything, that was, the number one thing for us. And then we found a way to merge both of those things. And as I said, once our kids came into my life, it gave me a permission to be as into it as I had ever been,
Yeah, that's sweet. And what about the hip hop then? When did you because I mean, I think we all, I've known plenty of people that it's not an easy industry to get into. I mean, usually you find out pretty quickly if you're good or not. When did you know you were good? When did you know you had that it factor?
I I don't know if I've ever had an it factor, but I think when Tom called me back in February, and I said, oh, okay, maybe the imposter syndrome is something I shouldn't really be thinking about because Tom Hardy wants us to do this record. But seriously, I felt like maybe 2005 or something, 2006 is when I started to feel like I had a good handle on the craft of rapping, emceeing, writing, producing. But I'd been at it since probably the late 80s and put our first record out in 1996. So we've been putting in dues, putting in work, paying dues in a way. Ironically, the first record we put out in 1996, I referenced Venom in it. So it's nice to have this come full circle in a way, you know?
Yeah, that's great. And so if people, fans of yours don't know you, you're esoteric. That's
Yes.
So when people laugh at me, like, you have no idea how good that guy is you were talking to, I'm going to be like, oh, okay, yeah, well, that's my friend Esoteric now.
That's right.
Very good.
That's right.
But again, Seamus Ryan joining us now, talking about his piece. The movie comes out. It's coming out tonight, right now. It's so people can go see it this weekend. How featured is the music? Have you like figured that part out yet? I mean, is this playing through?
I've seen a lot of footage from the movie, and they were kind enough to have me. I don't know, share it with me. I don't think I didn't have to approve it. That wasn't, once we, signed papers, they could do whatever they want with it. But they showed me where the music appears and stuff. And I don't want to spoil that for anybody. And I have not seen the whole film myself yet. So I've been lucky enough to see parts of it, though. It looks really good. There's one of our songs is involved with Woody Harrelson, and Woody Harrelson going nuts. So I think that's going to be fun to watch.
One of my favorites, Woody Harrelson. All right, those are cool. Yeah. You must look back on, I mean, I'm sure in 20 years, look back in that and go, my goodness, that was an awesome opportunity. I mean, movies like this, even though I am the guy, one of the 3 people in the world who haven't seen it, movies like this, they have this staying power. Like you said, I mean, first debut in the 80s for this movie. They have this staying power that, like, you're going to have 12-year-olds in 20 years listening to this stuff and listening to your music. That must be a pretty awesome feeling.
Yeah, it's cool. It's great to be in this position, of course, and that's why I wanted to get my kids on one of the songs subtly, just because I knew it would outlive me, and it would be something that they could just kind of look back on too, and have them be part of it. In a way, I thought that was kind of important, and I don't know, it's just great to we're pretty fortunate with this development.
Do they ever never like give you a scene though and say, like, think about making a song for, like, if this happens in the movie, or if this happens? Do they do that?
Yeah. Yep. So they showed us the scenes beforehand, and then we went to work and we made a couple tracks. I guess you could say inspired, but the trick is, and I learned that you can't be too on the nose with things, and sometimes a scene just calls for an aggressive song that doesn't touch on the actual movie, right? Where my mind goes is, oh, we're making a song for Venom. Okay, Venom. Everything's about Venom, but it's not. It's tempting to touch on the actual character in the music, but sometimes you just have to leave that out, because you can take people out of the movie if you're referencing what's happening as it's happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get that. Yeah. So it is a little bit of a different art. How many movies have you done? Have you had smaller projects like this, or?
Yeah, we've had our songs in movies before, but nothing on this scale. We've had licensing things like in EA Sports video games, and a couple, trying to think of this. We've licensed our songs. This is different in a way because we were asked to create new music. The other things that have appeared on huge platforms have been songs that have been licensed from our catalog that we've already done. So this was something where we were coming towards the song instead of the movie, taking something from our back catalog. So this is much different, and it's Venom, so it's very important to us as fans of the entire genre.
Do you ever feel a level of pressure that comes with this, or is it honestly it's just so much fun?
No, it's a lot of pressure, for sure. And because, you're working with the biggest British film star of the 21st century on a project, and he believes in you to do what you have to do and you want to deliver. Because he had a big hand in this Venom 2. He co-wrote it, and it's his storyline. So he's very invested in it. And I just, the fact that he was nice enough to hit me up directly, you want to make something worthwhile and make it stick. So we had a couple different passes, different material before we found the right one for this movie.
I mean, usually if you go out and do a show, there's probably a part of you that you're you're a seasoned enough veteran where you're like, if we have a bad crowd, who cares? We'll move on to the next one. But if Tom Hardy doesn't like your movie for this, please, Tom Hardy, please like it.
Yeah, it's just a different, I don't know, different level, different, but he's an extremely humble guy. It's when you talk to him, it's kind of like, it's almost like he forgets, but again, he's a great actor, so he could just be putting that role on, but it's like, Tom, I can't do that with you because you're a very famous person, excuse my language. Yeah. And sometimes I feel like he doesn't see it that way, or doesn't think that way. It's charming.
Yes. He always kind of, I mean, you obviously didn't know him well before this. What's that first phone call like? I mean, wait, you need me for what? Okay.
Yeah. His agent had reached out to me at first and said, Tom Hardy wants to reach out to you directly. And I thought the guy was joking, but because when these type of things happen, you would have, the agent would be the liaison, but Tom wanted to speak directly. So I gave the guy my number, and he said, if you don't hear from Tom in about a week or so, let me know. So naturally, I had my hand on the phone for a week, waiting. I said, this isn't happening. And then Sunday morning, once it was back in February, like in the winter, I was walking my dogs. It was like 6 a.m. and an international phone number pops up, from the UK. And I said, it can't be Tom. I answer the phone, and it's Tom Hardy. And I'm kind of unprepared because I have two dogs, two big labs that are pulling me. And I have, I'm picking up after the dogs. So I got, that in one hand and I had Tom in the other hand. And I'm trying to act like it's not 6 a.m. on a Sunday. Because for him, it was, noon or 11 a.m. or something, So that first conversation I was a little flustered, but we've actually spoken quite a bit since then, to the point where sometimes we're on FaceTime and he'll just talk to my wife about sourdough recipes and things like that. And then I kind of shuffle off and let them talk and pretend that I'm busy, but I'm also listening intently to what, I don't want them stealing my wife or anything,
Sourdough recipes, very serious business. That is too funny. Again, we're joined here by Esoteric, Seamus Ryan, Beverly Group. Name drop who else is in the band too, because I know you keep saying we, and I think some people want to know who else is in the group. So, yeah, 7L of who I've been working with since the '90s, and Inspect the Deck of Wu-Tang Clan, who I've also actually been working with since the '90s. Our first record with Inspect the Deck was in '98 or '99 or something. So we got a long history together, and it's nice to see this type of a thing happen for us. I feel like. What's that? No, keep going. I didn't want to interrupt. Sorry. Oh, that's okay. I feel like every comic or action figure or toy or T-shirt I ever bought
now we're from Marvel. It's all evened out now, you know. We just so now I'm back out of the red and everything's cool, you know.
Nice.
Yeah.
What does this do to an artist? Because you probably, I get the sense, I could be completely wrong, but I get the sense you have a good feel for how the business works. What does having a couple songs in a movie like this do to you guys as an artist and do to like these songs? I mean, I would imagine it's great for business, but.
Yeah, we'll see. I feel like the success of the movie would probably put the songs on steroids in a sense. It would give them a real boost. And if people like the songs, that's how it is with any project we do. You know, you put it out and you hope it resonates with the people, and it's really up to them, and they will stream it and 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 get the numbers up. You know, and we're putting it out on vinyl too, which is fun for us because we like the physical product, something tangible.
Wouldn't it be great if everybody loved the physical products?
Yeah. What'd you say?
I said, wouldn't it be great if everybody loved the physical products?
Yes, it would, but you can't beat the convenience of Spotify or Apple, just playing it right off your phone. I understand that.
I do too.
Yeah. But I think it's great. You know, we're just happy, man. This is something that's a real personal milestone for me. It's a real dream come true. So I feel like whatever happens, we're very, very fortunate.
Yeah. So what's the next monster movie you're gonna do? No, just kidding. You can soak this one in for a little while. This is great.
Yeah.
What did the long project? Is it quick with you when you're making these songs? Do you kind of bang them out quickly? What's the deal?
Yeah. Once we were asked to do it, it was all systems go, and I can put a lot of pressure on the other guys in the group to get something together because. You want to show Sony, you want to show anyone that, you know, you're up for the challenge and you can react quick and you can deliver quick. And if, you know, the song doesn't make the cut, we can edit it, we can retool it. And it's just I don't know, it's challenging and it can take time, but we like to push ahead. And I think Tom gave us that confidence that what we were doing was what he wanted, and it worked out.
Yeah, that must be a nice way of doing it. Did they throw anything back at you, like tweak the ending or whatever?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. There were a couple stages that we went through where a couple lyrics had to change, and because some of the things we were saying were too on the nose. You know what I mean? So there's little things where you're creating a song like this to capture a mood in a movie primarily, right? For us, it's the song. It's all about the song and the crafting of the song. But, you know, you want to have the most exciting part of that song in the movie to capture the people. So it took a few tries, but that was the good part. You got to love the process when you're doing this stuff. And I happen to love the process. And so, oh, you want us to remix this? You want us to change that? I'm on it. I'm up for the challenge. I enjoy it, you know?
Yeah. Speaking of lyrics, did I read that your daughter helped you out with one of the lines?
Yeah, she's she's on the chorus of the Good Guys, Bad Guys song that we have, and that's something that is probably one of the most things I'm excited about. Is that, you know?
Okay. You mentioned getting them in there. I didn't know. Did she come up with that line though?
Oh, I'm sorry. No. It's let's say we worked on it together, but it was something that, with her, you know, limited experience being in a vocal booth, we wanted to have something that she could deliver. You know, it couldn't be too complex when you're 6 years old. So I think when you hear the song, you'll see what I'm saying. It's, right. You know, it's simple, but it's hopefully catchy.
I am gonna figure this all out. You know, we were met this is the first time we're meeting. This was somebody said you should really go interview this guy, and I said, you know, I'm probably one of the few people that haven't seen the movie. I'm definitely the wrong person. And I said, I'm always up for it though. Now I'll definitely go see this after talking to you. I'm very excited about
it. All right. I like it.
What has a couple more minutes here again? with Seamus Ryan, Esoteric, joining us from North Shore guy here, just having playing a big part with a couple of his songs in Venom, the sequel, which is coming out. Go see it this weekend or whenever you can. I have some work ahead of me to do. But what has it been like, I'm wondering, from a personal standpoint in a pandemic? I've talked to so many musicians who had their, I mean, you said you weren't touring too much, but had their, lives kind of ripped away from going out there and playing. Did you have somebody that likes kind of just producing music at home and kind of sending it out that way? Was it almost kind of was the pandemic almost something you could take advantage of, for lack of a better word?
Not really. I feel like we definitely stopped. We had a couple tours that were canceled.
So you were hit like every other musician.
Yeah.
You were hit with that pretty bad.
We were. However, as far as the business aspect goes, it seemed as though a lot of people, our merchandise sales and things spiked in a way. So it seemed to work out a bit. I feel like a lot of people might have been buying things to comfort them in a way in a crisis. I know I made a lot of impulse buys, a lot of things I don't need. Just that, for lack of, I just trying to soothe the uncertainty and the pain from everything that was going on, because it's such a, serious event, of course. And I'm one of the guys that
people buy stuff
very seriously.
People buy stuff when they're bored too.
People buy stuff when they're bored, and I guess when you're on lockdown and quarantine, you are bored as well. Bored and stewing, and so I feel like the fans have supported us greatly in that aspect throughout the pandemic. So the touring wasn't really that necessary, and we didn't really see a big hit from it. Of course, we love performing and are going to get back out there this coming winter. But I'm one of the guys that takes this stuff super seriously. We have some people in our industry that just get out there and mix it up, and I wouldn't say reckless, but just I'm a little less reckless.
Yeah. How when it is when you guys deem as a group that it's safe and ready to get back out there, what do you think that'll be like, returning in front of your fans? And you guys, I do know that about you can just do a quick search of you guys. You can see how diehard your fan base really is, thus the merchandise sales. I bet that'll be a great moment when you're back on stage in front of that fan base.
Yeah, I think it'll feel great, man. It'll feel great, and I feel that they will respond, and hopefully be as welcoming to us. So if we're shaking the rust off from not performing live for 2 years, they'll understand that, and they'll be shaking the rust off from not going out in 2 years, and maybe we can all safely have a good time.
Absolutely. Well said. All right. We always end the show with a minute of rapid fire. You ready to go? First thing that comes to mind?
Sure.
Favorite musician?
Chuck D from Public Enemy.
Ah, right. Very good. Favorite city in the country?
Boston.
First album you ever bought?
It was EPMD, Strictly Business.
Favorite venue?
Red Rocks in Colorado.
Oh, all right. So I've never been there. I'm a big music guy, and I haven't done that trip yet. I know I have to. What's that place like?
Oh, it's just amazing. Amazing. We played there a couple of years ago on a Halloween. It was just awesome. I was able to take my wife, and we just were able to enjoy Colorado, and just that place is the best place ever.
What's it like playing those big, because I mean, you remember playing all the small joints coming up and everything, and but I mean, what's it like when you get into one of the more famous amphitheaters around, to just be I mean, do you take a second to drink it in, or I mean, it doesn't matter if it's 20 people or 20,000? I don't know. I mean, what's it like?
It can matter. Yeah. If you're performing for 20,000 people, maybe only 5,000 of those people are your fans. So it seems like maybe the other 15,000 are bored, but there's so many people there. If you do a festival overseas where some of the folks, know your words, know your lyrics line for line, and it's like 10,000 people just screaming, it feels amazing. But I could do a show right on the North Shore for 100 people, and it's a completely different vibe. And and it depends. You can have fun with that type of a crowd too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, man, it's been a crazy ride. It's a tough industry to make it in. I know
Yeah, well, yeah, it definitely has its peaks and valleys. So, this is one of those peaks for us.
that'll be my last rapid fire. What would be your advice to the young rapper, the young guy who wants to be you someday? We get a lot of high school kids and stuff that listen to this show and
Okay.
that sometimes guest on this show. What's the best like career advice you ever got in that regard?
I would say be yourself. That's the biggest. You can have influences, you can have people that inspire you, but there's only one you. Be the best you, because it probably took me a while to learn that. Just being yourself, and I think that authenticity brings people in. Plus it's unique, and people everyone's different. You can't have 1,000 Drakes or 1,000 I don't know who the kids in high school are listening to right now, but everyone sounds the same. Everyone's trying to sound the same, so try to do something a little bit different, but make sure it's yourself that's doing it.
Well said. Actually, this will be my final one. What's the best lyric? Because I mean, I get the sense you're a damn good writer. What's the best lyric you ever wrote? You got one that you're like, that was it.
Wow. I don't know. One line that I like, I say, I'm talking about my son, and I said something about buying Air Jordans. But I said, I'm more concerned with his soul and his psyche than the soles of his Nikes. And that just was like if you say something short and sweet like that in a little couplet, it makes it a little more rewarding than if you have to, really stagger something out to get your point across. So I had soul and psyche, soul and Nikes, and it's kind of a line against materialism, which I think is important for him to learn. And I think that's a line I like the most.
I kind of thought it might involve one of your kids. I was hoping you might go in that direction. Very good. Seamus Ryan, Esoteric. That's why I asked you to introduce yourself at the beginning, because I said I don't know the proper way to do it. This worked out well. If I see you, I'll call you Seamus if I see you on the street on the North Shore here, though, man. Thank you so much for taking some time. Congratulations on a great hit with this movie, and I hope the movie does great, and I hope you guys get huge boosts with it. And congratulations.
All right, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
All right, how cool is that? Esoteric, Seamus Ryan. I thought that was a lot of fun. Czarface is the name of their group. They are very big. You probably get the impression, and you'd be right. It's not exactly the music that I've been into, and the Venom is not even a movie I've seen. I'm very much in the minority on that stuff. It's a bad job by me. I'm going to get into their music. Czarface, Seamus Ryan, Esoteric. And I'm going to go see these Venom movies. I definitely want to see Venom, the sequel here coming out with their music. How cool was that? Great thing. And a good guy, good dad, like that. Seamus Ryan, thanks for joining us. Another edition. We'll see you next week. Might do some marathon stuff next week, because marathon, October, fast approaching. How about that? My name is Drew Moholland, live at Drew's house. Peace.